Hey, CDAWG, I wanted to do replay reviews. And I looked and I was about to start with the 3v3 one up here, as you can see. This is the last one we did last night. This was the one we did after the Scarab match, and I was going to do yours today and then maybe Sam's another day. But then I noticed down here, I actually have all of these 2v2 reviews of ours. I accidentally opened Bonkus Mod, I guess, on Monday. And here they all are. So we're going to go over this one. I'll do the 3v3 ones for both of y'all. I'll do two separate videos, two separate reviews on those. But I kind of wanted to do a little bit, excuse me. I want to do a little bit of a test run. Just to test out these controls over here. These Epic Pen controls. As well as a lot of the replay review controls. The replay has like zoom in, zoom out, the different cameras. I just kind of wanted to get a little bit more familiar with that stuff. So bear with me as I learn all of these controls. And we're going to do a little bit of a 2v2 replay review. I'm not sure how long it'll be. Hopefully not too long. I'm mainly going to be using this camera here. You can see at the bottom, fly camera. This way I can get a full view of the play. And your rotations and stuff like that. I'm also going to be using this player view here when I want to do a little bit more, you should go this way kind of business. I'll be using arrows for that. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, back to fly cam. All right, so kick off. Okay. So you're strangely far back here. I'm not going to comment on every little thing. I'll try my best not to, but you're extremely far back here. And this guy that cheated up, the Dominus. He's the guy who cheated up. And he's also he's a little too far forward, and you're way too far back. I don't know exactly what happened here. Seems like you backed up. A little bit too much, or I don't really understand. Maybe you hesitated a little bit, whether or not you should cheat up or you should go for boost. I'm not really sure, but what this does, it looks like actually, if I'm not mistaken, now that I think about it, this is an invisible boost glitch, by the way. The boost should be here, but it doesn't show. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that you're going to try to grab this 12 and then maybe that 12 so that you have more boost. In this situation, just front flip and grab this 12. And it puts you in a if you're around the area of this 12 here, you're in a good position behind me. So let's see what CDAWG does though. Grabs the 12. Yep, and just as I suspected, he goes for the other 12. Just grab this 12. Don't worry about backing up, because then you're completely, you're not going, there's no reason to do this. The reason that you're behind me is that you can get to the ball before the other player does, and that we can have offensive pressure. But if you're so far back, you should have just gone for big boost and not worried about, putting yourself in this strange position. I would have just gone for the 100. Don't do something in between. Just fully commit to one or the other. Okay. This is your second mistake, and these I've seen this a lot in your gameplay. This is a reoccurring mistake. One of your biggest mistakes is awareness of where the players are on the field, and also just your tendency to want to boom the ball, no matter what position it's in. Sometimes you don't need to hit the ball, and sometimes you don't need to hit it hard. In this position, you're clearly trying to boom this ball. You're fully like flying up and all this. Do you hit it very hard though? No. Here's the issue with this, though. The biggest gripe I have with this, well, there are many gripes. Let's go over them. For one, even if this was like a hard touch or whatever, this is still a pass to this guy in the back. He has 100 boost now. His friend has 100 boost now, and you're just passing it right to him. He's about to boom this thing towards me. You're putting yourself out of the play here. You have no boost since you use most of your boost. Let's actually see how much boost you have. Maybe you have a little bit more than I think. Okay, CDAWG goes up. He's got 20 boost. Not a lot, but definitely, enough. If he makes a good enough recovery, he should be okay. So not too bad with boost management, but again, you've used up a lot of your boost for this play. Let's watch it again. Yep, passed it to them, used up all your boost, and you put yourself in a really bad place recovery-wise. You're pointed up the wall now. You've killed all your momentum, and this guy has just boomed it downfield towards me. Luckily, I'm in a very defensive position. I'm ready to deal with this. But, this never would have had to happen if you hadn't done this. All you've done here is given away possession. Great possession we had off of kickoff. Offensive pressure we had. You just throwing it all away. All because you just weren't aware how close these guys were to this play. And I'm going to be honest, these guys, I'll show you in a second, but these guys were very clearly not close enough to challenge you or be a threat to this ball. But yeah. Again, let's just watch it unfold. CDAWG gets it forwards, passes it to this guy. He's going to boom it. This other guy is going to play up. Joe Feta 22 is going to play this ball because he has more boost. This guy's going to rotate back behind him, wait for my clear, which is smart. I'm going to play back wall instead. He's going to try to hit it around me. Luckily, CDAWG comes in last second, and we double commit. But again, none of this had to happen if CDAWG hadn't done... Oh, the replay's a little messed up. If CDAWG hadn't done this. But let's watch it from a player's view and see what you could have done, where the mistakes were made. Okay. Switch to player cam. So here, in this view, right, you should just be paying attention. Just make sure you're watching. Hold on, let me get to my pen. You know for a fact that I'm not going for this ball. I'm back here somewhere. I am all the way. I'm pretty far back. This ball is up here. This guy, he is flipping in this general direction. Sorry about my arrows. We'll work on those. And you can see in the background, how far away is this guy? Like, look at him. He is clearly, very clearly, he is either in this corner, right? Or he is very close to it. And this ball is about to float down. It's about to go down. It's probably going to land around here. All right. In this situation, there's about two things you could have done that I would have done better. Two things with your mechanics that you could have accomplished pretty easily. For one, I wouldn't aerial for this ball at all. I wouldn't go up for it. I would wait for it to drop down and waited for it to bounce. The second it bounced, might have boomed it into this sidewall. Because if you do that, it'll go into the sidewall and then obviously mid. Another thing you could have done is you could have waited for it to drop down and then caught it on the top of your car. That way you're maintaining possession. You're keeping the ball close to yourself. And then maybe you go for a low 50 towards net or try to shoot it towards the net. Just make a solo play towards net. And I'm behind you to back you up. But again, for you, honestly, you would probably, end up, if this ball dropped and bounced, you'd probably boom it here, and then it would go mid, and then that would probably be a setup for yourself, because I'm a little far behind you. Or maybe if I can get up quick enough, maybe you set up the shot, and I take it. But both of those options are better than what you did. All you've done by going up for this is put me in a 1v2, ruin all of our offensive pressure, all because we're clearly not paying attention to this guy who is very clearly flipping in this direction and this guy who is very far away. There's no need to rush towards this ball. There's no immediate threat. You're not trying to beat someone to this challenge. Even if this guy turned around really quickly, which he would have to kill all of his momentum to do, or even if this guy started flying up to challenge you, you're going to beat this guy. He's too far back. And if this guy comes around fast enough, if you just notice him, go up quickly and you still beat one guy. So there's no reason to just fly up for this. There's no reason. Just be patient. Do a more patient play. You don't have to fly up and boom it towards them. All that does, especially in this position where this guy's going to be all the way back, all you're doing is passing it to them and giving them offensive pressure when we had a great opportunity to start a good play towards their net. Anyway, let's see. CDAWG rotates back around, which is good. He should rotate around near post and back post. Sorry. And CDAWG comes out and he saves it. But again, this wouldn't have had to happen if that play didn't happen earlier. We had to make a double commit, although we could have communicated a bit better, but it was probably good that we both went for this. He plays it this way. I'm going to wait, let it drop. I miss, which is my mistake. CDAWG's back wall, that's probably a good place to be. I can clear this in time. I get download. In this position, I would have played just a little bit farther back. I'm not going to be too particular, but I would have stopped and just hesitated a little more around here, or probably here, the second that you could see that this guy was turning. Mostly in higher ranks, people will, if you're the last man back, they'll try to go for a play off the wall here. So I would just assume with this guy that he's not just going to leave it for you. So I would have just hesitated a little bit more. But you can see that you do hesitate here a little bit. Watch, you can see where you put the brakes on, like right there, which is good. But yeah, and then when you see him miss, what do? Oh boy. Same mistake again. I could pretty much see it coming the second it bounced, because you do this a lot, unfortunately. But it's something a lot of players do. They're not aware of the other player's positioning on the field. They try to get rid of it too fast. They just boom it and then throw away the possession. But here, you see this guy. You can't see him. He's going to fly to the ceiling. And up here, he's useless. But you can't see that, obviously. You're not going to look up and say, oh, well, he's on the ceiling, so I have plenty of time. But you can clearly tell that he's driven up this wall and that he's not an immediate threat to you. This guy, if you paid any attention, he's all the way back here at your corner. But what you do is you rush the play and you just go do an aerial and you hit it. And all you've done again is pass it to him, and this guy is going to boom it again. You've thrown away the possession. We had offensive pressure there. In fact, you might have had a 1v2, and we might have been in a 2v1 for a second there if you would have played it a little bit more patiently. But instead, you've passed it to him again, thrown away our possession, given them offensive pressure, and they're booming the ball towards our net, and I have to make a save. And so you can see in this position that I'm very confident that CDAWG has it, but then I have to turn around really quickly because CDAWG throws away, the pressure that we had. And this is all because CDAWG didn't pay attention right here to the fact that this guy is on the sidewall and that this guy is all the way back here. If you just would have paid attention to those things, you wouldn't have needed. There's no one you need to beat here. There's no immediate threat. There's no immediate challenge. You don't need to you're not booming it over anyone. There's no need to go so quick, so fast, and hit it so, hard like this. But yeah, let's look at what you could have done instead. So in this situation, I believe this ball should be dropping. So this ball is going down. It's going to drop, literally going to drop right here. Okay. Now you can let's see here. You could wait for it to bounce. But I wouldn't, in this situation, I wouldn't even boom it. I wouldn't boom it here. I wouldn't boom it. That would be the best place. I wouldn't even boom it there. What I would do is I would try to settle it on your car the best you can. Perhaps try to dribble it towards him in some way. Perhaps try to start a dribble, whether that just be a ground dribble or, maybe even try to dribble it on top of your car. That would be good practice. A good place to try to put it, once you've settled it, is maybe trying to slide this up this wall and around this guy. A lot of these, he's probably going to rush this challenge, I imagine. He's going to come straight for you. So if you can put it around him to the sidewall or even around him mid in some way, I'm here at least. I'm back here ready for if you get it past this guy and you put it this way. And if you put it this way, either you can follow it up or I should be there in time. This guy is literally on the ceiling coming down, so he won't be there for a long time. So yeah. But I wouldn't do what you did. If you wanted to you could aerial for this. To settle it, to do a more patient play. You could aerial for it and go up. But just make sure that you hit it with your wheels or something to where you get a very light touch. That way the ball stays close to you. You maintain possession. You're not throwing it away. And then you could follow with some of the things that I was talking about. Probably try to hit it around this guy or even 50 him. But as you can see, trying to hit it around him would be best, because you will see that he sees his friend is up here, and most players his level are going to rush. Yep. And he definitely would have rushed harder if you would have tried to settle it, which would have been great for you because you could just put it around in the second he got too close. I would have tried something like that instead of what you did. It's just an awareness thing again. There's no one immediate threat on this ball, and still you threw away possession. I'm going to make the save. You're going to rotate back post, which is good. Let's see here. Okay. Here's something else that you talk about. Sometimes you power slide too much. This is another prime example of this. What we've done here is we've clearly held power slide. Don't hold power slide. Just tap it. Tap it over and over again until you get to where you want to be, to be pointing in the direction that you want to be pointing. But what you've done here is this. Now look at where the play is, and look where CDAWG's pointing. CDAWG is literally pointing in the other direction. Luckily, this guy's back here, so there's no shot. If he were smart and he were up farther, he could shoot it behind you in this position, and you would have absolutely there's no way you could defend it. This guy here, what if he gets a wall touch? What if he goes up for this and he tries to touch it off the wall and it goes behind you? It'd be a little bit awkward for you to turn around in this position. In fact, I believe this is one of those moments. If it were to start rolling behind you, you would probably start blanking and then backing up into net and trying to readjust, and it would roll in, and you would say something like, "No, I should have had that." But let's see what happens. Yep, he hits it mid. If you were a better player, obviously, he might try to shoot this. He might get a way better touch than this and try to put it behind you. The scenario you wouldn't want. But luckily, he ties it up and puts it in a box and gifts it to you. I'm going to rotate back around you because I know you have this clear. Honestly, a hard clear in this position is not a bad idea because this guy's rotating back. Like this, I don't know why he's flying. I'm not going to pay attention too much to that. And this guy, if you move it hard enough, you can clearly hit it over him. And this is our first offensive pressure, I would say, of the game that we've had, and it's been about 40 seconds, and we've had 2 opportunities for offensive pressure. CDAWG challenges, that's a good challenge. This guy goes for boost, I think. Yep. Which is, he hard commits to that boost. So if you would have gotten a good challenge here, which sometimes you can't control them, that's why they're called 50-50s. It's a 50-50. If you would have got a good challenge here, it would have gone right into their net. It was a good challenge to make, which is, that was great. I'm going to grab 100. I missed 100. Unless that's an invisible boost glitch, and I actually did pick it up. I don't really know. CDAWG's going to rotate back around, which is good. I'm going to slow play this. I'm going to tell you what I'm about to do really quickly. I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but I imagine it's going to be 40 or 50 minutes. I see here. This is an awareness thing. This is how you should do awareness. I see this guy. He's in net, right? And this guy's on the back wall. What I'm going to do, the smart thing to do, and this is something that might take you a while to practice, is I'm going to, and I hope I am at least. This is what I should be doing. I'm going to slow play this at first, and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to wait for this guy here on the back wall, Jofita 22. I'm going to wait for him to start coming off the wall, and then I'm going to shoot it hard towards net, as hard as I can. Because right now, if I shoot it, I have 2 defenders. This guy here on the back wall he can clearly make an easy clear off the back wall or an easy save. So I should do a patient play and do a shot. Patient play to get the guy on the back wall off the back wall. I'm going to wait for him, and then I'm going to shoot it. Let's see what happens. Yep. The second I saw that he was coming off that back wall there, you can see my thought process. The second he starts coming off the wall, I get up and I boom this thing towards the net. It's a bad touch, and CDAWG turns away, which is great. You're predicting that he hard clears this. That was great. Great awareness. You're going to go up the wall here. You boomed it a little hard here. In this situation, I would wait. So if you just hit it at the wrong time, if you would have waited for it to bounce and not hit it when it was on the ground, you could have hit it off the sidewall and put it mid. But instead, you roll it up the wall really hard, and no one can get to that. No one, you especially don't know how to get to that. That guy does. So all you've done again is thrown away our possession. Of course, I'm all the way back here getting boost and stuff. and rotating behind you. So I don't know how good that pressure would have been. But again, you just kind of hit it a little, you're kind of booming it, and there's no need to. There's no threat. You're not beating this guy to this ball. You're clearly going to beat him, so there's no reason to not slow play this a little bit. Settle it down a little bit and try to hit it past the last defender here. He's actually not the last defender, this guy is, but hit it around this guy. But instead, you just run in. Not only do you get do you boom it away from us, but you're also just hitting at the wrong time. You're making a bad touch, and there's no reason to hit it this hard unless you want to boom it off the sidewall, which you're clearly just trying to beat this player to the ball. You're clearly just terrified that this guy is going to come up and challenge you, and that's probably why you're hitting it so hard. Again, that's just an awareness thing. There's no need for you to go because these guys, this guy is clearly not going to challenge you. He knows you have possession of the ball, and if he did try to challenge, you have ample time to hit it around him. Another thing you could have done in this position is you could have settled it down. You could have tried to, just jumped at it a little bit and settled the ball down a little bit, not boomed it or anything. And then if you wanted to take it up the wall and go for a wall shot, that would have been an option, taking it in their corner. I just would not have hit it so hard. It's probably not what I would have done with that kind of pressure. Because then what does CDAWG do immediately? He just retreats. He says, oh, I can't do it. I can't go, so I have to retreat. And there's all of our offensive pressure. And I don't know if I'm going to go for this, but I probably should. I turn on it. Actually, that was smart because these guys are out of commission. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, try to grab 100. Hopefully I don't miss the boost again, although I might. Yeah, I grab 100. And then I'm going to turn on this. And then I'm lined up to boom it over these guys who are in a horrible position. But I was about to say CDAWG's in net, but CDAWG's not in net. CDAWG comes up, and the second I see CDAWG, I bet I'm going to hesitate. Yep, I slow down, and when I could have boomed it because I saw CDAWG, we didn't communicate. You probably, since you were in net, you have eyes on me, and I don't have eyes on you. So you should probably just leave this ball to me, although I should have called that I had it. But what you do is you just, again, there goes all of our pressure. It just seems like you're trying to rush this touch. There's no need to rush it. In this position, if I didn't hesitate, I could have just hit it right over him. And then you could have gone up and then followed that. But we get demoed, and then you get bumped, and this is a really bad position now. You get bumped. Yep, and you got bumped again. Luckily, he clears it himself. And then we rotate back around. You're playing pretty close behind me right now, but that's fine since there's no immediate pressure. I'm going to do a wall play. It's a good time for one since I should have boost. And it's sliding up the wall, and you're in a good position. I wouldn't go for this 100. I don't know how much boost you have, but I wouldn't have boosted right there. As you can see, you boosted. Would have just grabbed some 12s and stayed around mid instead of going for this 100 because you're pointing in this direction when the climax of the play is just about to happen at around midfield. That's all. Here, again, you notice that he's going to hit it, so you start turning away, which is good. You turn back into the play. Yeah, I don't know if I would have gone for that, only because I believe that this was a bit of a mistake on his part, his recovery. But if he would have landed a little bit better, he might have hit it around you, but I don't know. You miss, mechanical mistake, it happens. I'm not going to be too critical on that. I come around, you're rotating behind me. Oh, wait. Was that recovery what I thought it was? Yeah, it was pretty good. Nice. I'm going to hit it over one guy and then try to get it past the last guy. It was a pretty poor attempt at hitting it around the last guy. I'm going to come back around, rotate back around. CDAWG's pretty far back, which is good because this guy clearly has possession. He's going to grab 100, try to do a wall play. I would probably, a good player, and if he was a good player, and I know he hasn't hit it well here, I would be in net right now, and I would let me grab 100 here and then challenge him. But in the scenario, it works out. But a better player might take it up the wall and air dribble it towards the net, and he would put it right over you. So, something to keep in mind. But it's fine. It worked out. Okay, I'm behind you. You go for this. Good challenge. Nice. That was a good setup. I mean, no one's there, obviously, but it was good. It was a good play. I probably shouldn't have been there for that either because of that clear. I definitely would have gotten to the ball in time, but it was a good. You put it past two defenders. Yeah, great job. You're rotating back around. That was a demo attempt. That was a really good demo attempt, but you just jumped right over him. I would have just pay attention to where the players are on the field. Again, it's just an awareness thing. You could have clearly demoed him. I'm glad you're going. You probably want to go near post here. Good. It's good you're going near post. I beat him, so you should probably be turning. You do. Very good. This guy's going to hit it around me. You play pretty defensively. In this situation, you're going to go back to net. Oh, no, you're not. No, never mind. Good job. You rotated into the play. I'm glad that you didn't go into net because in this situation, he's just going to get a free shot on, so you just got a challenge. Good challenge. I'm going to rotate back around in net. Okay, what happened there? So here, I'm here. This guy misses. The first thing you should do when he misses, you shouldn't even be following behind him because this guy is in the air. So the second that you know you're not going to get a bump on him, you should turn, swerve out, and then swerve to back post so that I can go up for this. By doing this, you're putting yourself in a place to do this, actually. And, if you're, it also seems like a bit of a panic touch because you jump. There's no need to panic because, again, these two players, just be aware of where they are on the field. This guy is in front of the play that he wants to go towards our net. So if he does hit this, well, then great. He's just going to clear it to our side. This guy is completely out of the play. There's no reason to rush this. Let him hit it. If he wants to hit it, let him hit it. But by touching this, you've popped it up. We're both in this corner now and around the same place. Luckily, you rotate behind me. But this guy is able to pop it over me. And you pass it to him, by the way. What you've done is pass it to him when you did this. And he pops it over me. You're in a position where you have to go up for a challenge like this. He does that for some reason. But none of that would have had to happen. I could have probably made a very easy clear once I noticed that guy missed. It wasn't even, I would have just rotated around back post there. Just to keep that in mind. Anyway. Okay, I missed the ball. My mistake. This is probably going to lead to a goal. No, it actually doesn't. But anyway. Luckily, I went back wall, which is good. SeaDawg's coming back in net. He goes for a clear, hard clear. Not a good touch. Another awareness thing, actually, funny enough. Here. Oh, I had it. Here. Let's look at this. As you can see in this play, again, I mean, I'm pointing out these situations because these guys are clearly, very clearly, you can see them. This guy's boosting towards you, but again, he's behind the play. If he wants to hit this ball, he's going to hit it towards his net. So great, let him hit it. There's no need to rush this play. In the situation, it almost looks like you're panicking to get to there first because you're afraid someone is going to magically show up from here and take a shot. There's no need to rush this challenge so hard. And not only that, when you come in and you rush this challenge, when you do hit it, you boom it here, and it comes off the wall and it comes back in our direction. You'll see that in a second. I'll continue the replay. What you should do is you should just break a little bit here, wait for it to come down and bounce. It's going to bounce up this way. And then just be a little bit more careful. You yourself turn a little bit more this way. Just make a slight turn, a slight adjustment. And I'm sure that you'd be able to boom it. You don't have to boom it all the way down this way or anything. In fact, you probably can't. If you just boomed it a little bit farther down, then we wouldn't be in this very strange position where I'm recovering here and SeaDawg has put it mid. And this guy's going to turn. And I'm going to have to 50 him. But yeah, in this position, it just seems like a little bit of a panic touch, like you're trying to get rid of it too fast. And when you could have taken it slower. I mean, you know, even if you would have cleared this downfield, even if you're just, you know, even if you're trying to explain it to your, you know, explain your reasoning here and say, I'm going to boom this downfield. That way we can be, you know, try to get a play going, try to get in the net before they can even get back. I like your thinking, but the issue is that this guy's clearly, if you paid attention to him, he's clearly coming back. So even if you tried to boom this as hard as you can downfield and then played it to yourself, you're still not gonna be able to shoot it. So I would have just taken possession, or boomed it a little, boomed it around this area and then tried to go for a second touch, something like that. I wouldn't have done again. It's just kind of throwing away possession. Just be a little bit more careful with what you're doing. Clearly here, I'm still floating, so a slow play might be smart. If they turned on it, you could 50 them. That's an option. But again, you do this, and I have to go for a 50 because I know that this guy's going to turn, and I don't want a free shot on net. But we could have had offensive pressure there. But again, it was thrown away. So many offensive opportunities thrown away just because CDAWG doesn't seem very aware of where the opponents are, and he's just throwing our pressure away. Going up for this seems like a very weird place to do that. As you can see here, this is going up the wall. What I would have done, let me show you. Let me actually pause it because this is the only way I can do it. What I would have done here is I would have gone up this wall this way and then immediately turned and tried to hit it like this. What you've done here is you're taking a bit of a scenic route, right? You're going to do this, and we've watched already. You're going to go up this wall and around. The issue with this play is that it takes so long for this ball to roll up that the ball is going to start coming off the wall, I'm sure. Can't do a good arrow, but you get the point. The ball is going to start floating off this wall. Whereas if you were to do it quicker, if you didn't take the scenic route and you went like this, you could have hit it while it was still on the wall and got a more powerful touch. You could have also just waited again and just done a slow play, settled the ball down, waited for the ball to drop. Since he's behind this play, he's clearly going to rotate back. And there's no threat. This guy's all the way over here. You understand, hopefully. Okay, let's look at what you do. I was about to say, well, maybe you're trying to steal boost, but clearly you're not. I mean, not steal boost. You're trying to take your back boost, but clearly you're not trying for the back boost. It's just poor. It's just a poor place to start. To drive. I wouldn't be on this back wall and take this long wrap around this corner. I would have just gone straight for it. You took so long, so by the time you're actually there and ready for the touch, look how far it is off this wall. This is the time for me to go. I go back. I shouldn't have gone back there again. A little bit of a passive, too passive on the play, which is something you'll see a lot from me. And then they get offensive pressure again, and then I have to make this save because of it. But we wouldn't have to be in this position if you wouldn't have set yourself up so poorly in this position. I would be around, I wouldn't have taken this route. I would have taken the route I was talking about earlier. If you would have wall shot it, that would be okay. But do know that this guy's all the way back here, so he probably would hard clear. What I would have done is, this guy's clearly going to leave this play, the guy in front of you. If he hits it, great. He's clearing it towards me, who's going to be mid. If he clears it towards the net, that's great too. But I don't imagine that he actually does touch this. It doesn't look like he's positioned well enough to hit it. But what I would have done is I would have just sat down here, and I would have waited for it to bounce, and then again, just push the ball forward from there, not throwing away our possession. I should have touched that. Just really done any touch because you're rotating behind me, so I can do a silly touch just to get it around one of them. Because all I've done in this position is I've been too passive and allowed a shot. I couldn't get on the back wall in time to clear it, and I kind of just sat there and took that. But yeah. Next kickoff, let's see what happens. CDAWG goes. Okay. You can, if you're watching the play here, keeping ball cam on, you clearly see that I have, I now have offensive pressure. So what you should be doing here is either you might grab mid boost, but I would just recommend grabbing these 12 pads. I bet you're probably going to go for mid boost. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No reason to go for a big boost there. I have offensive pressure. In fact, I bet this ball, since it's bouncing off the corner, if you would have gone for big boost here or these 12s, that bounces quite nicely for you. But it takes you forever to get up on this play. And by the time you're up here and ready to touch this ball, these guys are in position to defend. This guy's on the back wall, and this guy's ready in net. Yep. And, well, he gets a poor touch, and they're in poor position, luckily. And you hit it, which wasn't bad. I turn on this to fight the defender. Here, there's no need to go for this. You should just be going for boost. This ball is a little too close to the wall. Even if you hit it, you're just going to bounce it off the back wall. I'm not ready to follow up any shots. I'm probably going to try to demo this guy over here or try to steal his corner boost since he's probably going to turn around. But there's no reason to go for this. Not only are you wasting so much boost, by the way, you do this a lot. You start from all the way back here for no reason. Not only that, but this ball is going to clearly go over this net. It's not going to float magically in front of the net and do that perfect training shot that you always talk about. This ball, by the time you get to it, too, it's not even on target for a shot. But luckily, I'm going to get a touch here to myself. Your recovery's not horrible, but again, use power slide. And what I like to do is, in these positions, this is a good recovery mechanic. If you end up like this, right, and you plant your wheels in the car, as you should, what you should do immediately, once you're in this position, jump. Just jump off the wall, because all you're doing is sliding. You're driving down the wall. It's a lot slower than if you just would have jumped. But yes, as you can see, here, I touch this ball. I can turn around and I can continue our offensive pressure, which is good. And then I solo play, it looks like. Yep. You can see where the goals and stuff are at the bottom, by the way. Okay, let's watch this again. No one went, so I played into the corner. Okay, here's another mistake. If you're quick enough, you can actually do this. Sometimes I'll do this. In fact, I won't go all the way back. I'm not that curious. But maybe we'll see it in the future. Actually, we will see it one more time. But in this position, I see what you're kind of thinking. You want to grab this 12, and then you go to grab this 12. But you're not really fast enough about it. And by the time we make contact with the ball here, you've only grabbed the first pad. So I would just grab this pad in the middle here, this one here, and play it up. Okay, you go for this. That's smart. Booming it, honestly, it was going towards you. I wouldn't have settled it. There would be no way to settle it for you, at least settle it correctly. So booming it towards them, testing the defense. Go for it. The recovery here is kind of questionable. You go backwards. If you're already back here, oh, good, you grabbed 100. Sweet. Glad, okay, that works for you. I mean, that works for me. You grab the 100, you went back. But this recovery, again, it's just... Again, this kind of, these touches you do, you kind of, I don't know why, when you hit it, you jump into it. And I mean, sometimes jumping into a touch isn't the worst thing. Sometimes I do that. But the way you go about it, you don't seem to have any car control, and you just turn yourself around. I don't know why you do that. It seems like maybe you were turning to try to get the right angle on the shot, but just worry about, instead of turning your entire car, just hit it with the corner. When you put it on, test the defense, great. I know, since you're in the corner here, he's going to boom this thing, and I'm close enough to make a challenge here, and I do. A very poor challenge, though, and I put us in a very bad position. That was my mistake. Very bad position. Okay, and then you go. That was really good. I would have done that. Actually. You turned here. I don't know if this is I hope this was an awareness thing, because we've been struggling with that. But ideally, you were aware that this guy is all the way over here and this guy's all in the back. There's no threat to the challenge. You turn, and here's what I would have done. And it's exactly what you tried to do. I'm rotating back around. I know that you have this, so I can be pretty close. And I just took that 100, although the boost glitch is going on. You're going to pop. You're going to try to pop this. And you definitely try to pop it. Ideally, you pop it around him. And when you do, it flies towards their net. and that guy's there, but it's going to test his defense. That was a good play on your part. You're trying to pop it around that defender. That was good. I would have done that. That was really great. Great awareness. I 50 this guy, give you time to grab boost and come back. Now I'm going to, since you have the ball clearly, I can rotate behind you like that. Okay. Oh, no. I probably should have rotated behind you, grabbed a 12 here. Instead, I went all the way back. I left you alone. In this situation, though, for you at least, he clearly has this. There's a defender on net. I wouldn't have even worried about this. In most matches, I would just assume that they're going to clear it. I would have just driven and done a little bit of a boost race with the breakout guy here and tried to steal his boost and leave him with nothing. Then he would be boost starved. This guy would probably still be in net. Yep. But instead you jump for it, waste a bunch of boost. And luckily, I think you rotate out, which is good. But that's okay. Just another, just be aware of what's going on around you and how useful you can be on that side of the field. You could have tried to bump him as well, but that's okay. I'm gonna make the save, although it's not on target. I don't want to bounce it off I don't want it to bounce off the backboard freely. Okay. He hits it around me. I mean, you. Let's see this. Here, this is a communication mistake on both of our parts. Someone should call it here. Either one of us, really. But since you're going to grab this boost, maybe you. But neither of us here can see each other. No one's really last man pack. Unfortunately, we just happen to go for it at the same time. But yeah, you go for it, though. You make a challenge. Not the best challenge, but again, that's just a mechanical mistake. You probably could have... You just need to work on challenges. That's an experience thing. I take this ball. I'm going to try to get it past this guy. Yep. And I do with a drive challenge, which is a very good drive challenge. You could be up a lot farther. There's no threat of a clear. Clearly, you're not going to shoot this, but you could be playing up a little bit farther. And that was a good challenge. And it played at mid. That was good. You're going to rotate back around me. Okay. I got demo. That was a really good demo on his part. Let's watch that again, though. Let's watch you. I don't know why you're turning away here. I mean, it's just, at the time of this happening, when you turn away, I mean, I'm about to hit this ball mid, and you're turning away from the play. You're kind of making yourself irrelevant in this situation. I would maybe power slid to the 12. I got demoed though, and then by the time you are moving forward, they're going to try to clear it over you. Luckily, they don't clear it too hard. I wouldn't have hit this, or I wouldn't have gone for this in general, because if he would have hit it harder, if he would have been a little bit better, he would have hit it over you easily. So there's no need to go for this anyway. But even with the touch that you made, even making a touch like this, there's a guy in net. He blocks, which is even worse. But even if you hit it past and 50 this guy, you're just giving this guy full possession of the ball since I'm all the way back here. So I would have even challenged this. I would have shadowed. In fact, in this position, if you would have just let him hit it and not hit this ball, it would have gone back and I probably could have driven up and then boomed it over him. And then we would have had a little bit more offensive pressure. But again, that's just another awareness thing. Just be aware of where the player is and the touch he's able to make. I just wouldn't have gone for this. That's all. He booms it. I tried to pop it. I think I jumped a little too late. Big mistake on my part. This is probably going to result in a goal. Yep. Yeah, it does. And you went for a save there. Let's see your save. It was pretty good with what you had. Honestly, that was a really good try. Nothing else you could do. I just left you in a really bad spot. And I'm trying to rotate as quickly as I can, but there's... Oh, yawning. There's clearly nothing else you can do in this position, so, but that was my fault. And that's goal number 2. Oh, let's watch this kickoff. Yeah, let's watch this kickoff. And see if I do it. So remember last time you were grabbing the 12s, this 12 and then that 12. Let's see if I grab the 12s faster to where I'd like to be when the touch happens. Let's see. Grab a 12. Okay, I grab 112. I grab the side 12 instead of the mid 12. Interesting. Yeah, I just wouldn't grab both 12s. By the time you make this touch, you make the kickoff touch, I'm in a really great spot here. I know that this guy's about to go, so I have time to make the decision to turn. You look like you're about to go to mid boost. I would not go to mid boost. Okay. You got bumped, I think, so you swung that. It's not your fault. Never mind. I hit it over him. This guy, I don't know. I don't get it. This guy keeps flying in the air. I don't really understand it. I'm going to play this forward since there's no threat of a clear. CDAWG's behind me. Great. I'm going to take a shot here. Not a very good shot. In this situation, I would absolutely, I wouldn't even play up for this. The second it bounced off the back wall and there's a guy in net, I would have just turned. But again, just pay attention to where the players are on the field. He's in net clearly, and he's going to get a touch here. You diving for this, although it's so late in the game, you're just asking to make this 3-1. If he was a better player, he just booms this around you. He got a bad touch and just hit it to the right, but yeah. Here, I have to go up and clear it to safety. I get there first. These guys are on this half of the field. He's going to steal my boost. I got to play it like that. CDAWG's behind me. This is not a bad place for CDAWG to be. Yeah, this is fine to go for, I would say. Here, again, might not go for this. Your last man back. If he was even a little bit quicker, I mean, I don't know if you knew or not, if you were aware enough that you would meet him in the middle, but in the situation, the play that these guys are about to make isn't really that threatening yet. If he hits this, he hits it to our sidewall, and you could go back, grab the 100 or shadow, and that gives me time to rotate back around. But what you do here is in these last 23 seconds, you do challenge him, but you just give them the ball again by making that challenge. Yeah. We're going to go up for this because we're running out of time, and we got to make a play. Okay, I'm falling down. It looks like I grabbed a 100 there. That might have been that was a big mistake, but honestly, 10 seconds left. And CDAWG plays this back. And that looks like that's about it. I'm going to probably, drop it. Okay. And that's the end of the replay. Honestly, and I've noticed this in your gameplay, a lot of the mistakes that you make are just awareness related. Just not being aware of where players are on the field, not being aware that you're going to get beaten, not being aware that the players are clearly too far away to make a play towards the ball. And in those situations, you just commonly just boom it and you pass it to them and you throw away all of our possession. And this is something I do see in a lot of our games, actually. Just in the future, just make sure that, and I know it's hard, it's one of the most, game sense and positioning are one of the hardest. And I would say there's some of the hardest mechanics to learn, even harder than, obviously our car mechanics. But this is something that you really need to work on. Just watch where the players are. There's so many opportunities where possession was just thrown away, where we could have had offensive pressure just because, you were making a frantic clear when there didn't need to be, and stuff like that. But I hope this helped, man. I'd like to do a 1v1 replay because I think that's where a lot of your glaring flaws I could see a lot of your glaring flaws. But I'd like to watch a 1v1 replay, but I'm going to go over the 3v3 replay first and check out your threes. I'm sure your video is not going to be as long as Sam's because Sam makes a lot of positioning errors, and this is what a lot of this is. But I hope this helped a little bit. Just in the future, again, it's just pay attention. Just make sure you're paying attention to the play. Who's going to hit it? What kind of play should I be making on the ball if I have time? And things like that. How do I settle the ball on my car? Just some things to work on because, again, commonly, we don't have a lot of offensive opportunities when we should. About more than half of our offensive opportunities this match were thrown away just because, you weren't too aware enough of what the players were doing. But anyway, man, I really do hope this helped. If you have any questions, let me know. But anyway, that's about it.